Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say it straight. What happened at Dover in the NASCAR All-Star Race was one of those moments that makes every single fan stop breathing for a second. Lap 2, not lap 200. Lap 2. Car stacked 3 wide, tempers high, everybody fighting for track position before the race even had a chance to settle in. And then chaos, a violent impact, a car backing into the wall at full speed, and then flames. Real flames. Ryan Preece climbing out of a burning race car while half the field is destroyed behind him. And here's the thing. This wasn't just another crash. This might be one of those races people point back to when they talk about where NASCAR's aggression and NASCAR's consistency are headed. So stick with me, because there's a lot to unpack here. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. So here's how this whole thing went down. Second lap at Dover. The field is still packed tight. Nobody wants to give an inch. And in the back of the pack, Ryan Preece is running on the outside of a 3-wide battle with Todd Gilliland and Kyle Larson. Now, if you watched enough NASCAR, you already know what happens when you go 3 wide at Dover this early. You are basically playing with fire. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Preece and Gilliland make contact. Just a little touch. But at these speeds, a little touch becomes a major disaster in about half a second. Suddenly, all 3 cars, Preece, Gilliland, and Larson, get tangled together. Then the wreck explodes, cars scattering everywhere. Smoke, debris, drivers with nowhere to go. And Ryan Preece backs into the turn 1 wall at an absolutely brutal speed. And because that no 60 car was carrying a full fuel load, it erupts into flames. And I mean instantly. For a split second, every fan watching had the exact same thought. Please get out. And thankfully, Ryan Preece climbed out under his own power. That's the most important part of this whole story. But this wasn't just about Preece. This wreck took out a huge chunk of serious contenders. Todd Gilliland, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek, Michael McDowell. Just like that, one crash, one corner, and some of the biggest names in the sport are either damaged, spinning, or heading behind the wall. Now, Preece came out of the infield care center and said, "I'm fine, but I seem to take big hits." And honestly, that line hits hard, because if you followed Ryan Preece over the last couple seasons, he's had some absolutely terrifying crashes. Daytona, Talladega, now Dover. At some point, you stop calling it bad luck and start wondering, why does this keep happening to this guy? Preece even took accountability. He said if it was his fault, he's sorry. And I respect that. Not every driver owns it like that. But now, let's talk about why this matters beyond just one wreck, because this is where things get really interesting. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, both heavily damaged, both behind the wall. But because they were already locked into the 3rd segment, their night wasn't technically over. Their crews went to work. And I mean work. Bumpers, panels, suspension pieces, anything they could do to get those cars back on track. And somehow, both Larson and Blaney returned before the final 200-lap segment. That right there tells you everything about championship teams. They don't quit, ever. But for guys like Ryan Preece, different story. Significant damage. No segment protection. No second chance. Race over. And if this were a points-paying event, this kind of incident could absolutely wreck playoff momentum, could wreck confidence, could wreck team morale. That's the bigger picture here. And I'm just going to say it straight. NASCAR has a bigger conversation coming, because this race got red flagged for cleanup. 5 cars sent straight to the garage. And if that wasn't enough, later in the race, another multi-car crash breaks out on the front stretch. More damage, more contenders involved, more chaos. So now you got to ask, are drivers being too aggressive? Are these cars too difficult to recover when contact happens? Or is NASCAR creating races where survival matters more than execution? Because fans love aggression. I love aggression. But there's a fine line between hard racing and total carnage. And Dover walked right on that line, maybe crossed it. So now I want to hear from you. Was Ryan Preece simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, or is NASCAR's current racing style creating too many avoidable wrecks? Drop your take down in the comments, because I already know this one is going to split the fan base. And if you enjoyed real NASCAR talk with no filters, make sure you like this video, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News, and turn on those notifications so you never miss the next breakdown. Until next time, this is NASCAR Nation News, and we'll see you at the next green flag.